Drew cut his fingers with a potato peeler.
I've done that before. You never done that?
I've done
No,
it
I
and
haven't.
it not be bad.
It can be
And
bad.
so that made me very cavalier about it.
Yeah.
Buddy, I don't know if you guys how you guys respond to pictures of like injuries.
I don't want to say it. Don't hit for me.
One of them's like, oh, that looks like it hurts. The other one, I mean, it's wild.
The
It
other
looks like
one,
a little half moon
you
out of the
cut
tip
yourself
of my finger.
2 separate times with a potato peeler?
Same 2 fingers going real fast. That's where I was
Oh,
holding
at the
it.
same time.
I got like a
I mean, you can
medium
like
cut on the middle, and then I got this right here. It even took off some of the nail. Like it went from the top of my finger through my finger and then out through my nail.
Yeah, you can like peel your finger, that's the thing.
Like a tater.
Like a tater, and that really don't hit to have happen. I have also done that once a long time ago, and it super didn't hit.
One of the things I'm actually like, one of the skills that I could stand to do better at in the kitchen is my like knife skills and stuff like that. And the reason they're not that good is because I'm so frightened to like fucking cut myself that I don't ever have the confidence to do that. You know what I mean? Like I can cut pretty good, but eventually I get so scared that I'm gonna cut myself that I'm like, I'll just take my time. I'm not on a fucking TV show here.
Yeah, I was going fast because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, it has to go fast. You're fucked with a mandolin, not the instrument, but the kitchen device.
Yeah, and I've about had some accidents there because I got a little bit too carried away.
They'll just slice the tip of your finger right off. This
probably sure will
hit for people because it wouldn't hit for me.
I was going to say, even people who are interested in kitchen talk are like, yeah, but this is giving me butthole knives.
Not cutting off your fingers, yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, butthole knives, because
I got it from you.
Yeah, okay, that checks out.
But I brought it up because Andy won't even talk to me about my finger and says it makes my butthole hurt. Stop.
Okay, so but apparently that's like I think it's something about our water or like the antibiotics that we were given as kids, because like if you talk to any old people about butthole knives, they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, when something like scares you or something gives you the ick and it feels like a knife's going up your butthole.
Okay, I remember having this conversation before. I mean, I guess it's just because I'm a papa at heart, but I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
It might be an anxiety thing.
Relating what Andy said through the lens of Jonas. I feel like tension in my lower gut, which I could see.
I feel it in my gut when that happens.
Okay, so for me, Trey, it's like literally right above my dick. It's like the very bottom of my ass.
Underneath your belly button, kind of.
Right in my asshole.
I see that. Couldn't you see that?
Connecting to your butthole?
Yeah.
The belly hole's connected to the butthole.
No.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't. I mean, I know. I get. There's also people say it's like shiweed that make your butt pucker. You know what I mean? It's like people clench their assholes when something like that happens. It's like, ugh, and you clench your butt.
Well,
but
my nerves are
feel
wrong.
a fucking knife down there when that happens. That is like, okay, but that's like hardcore. That's like from the movie Seven.
Yeah, well, it's more like, I wouldn't say a knife because that would insinuate that there was a blade on one. It's more like the thing you use to sharpen your knives. It's like if that thing was going up your butt.
Oh yeah.
But still like a metal thing, but not like, it's not cutting the orifices of my butt, but it just feels like something sharp is going up my butt. Happens when I get scared. And sometimes it just like, I think it's relative to a gas pain, but it's butthole knives. And my mom and dad are both like, what are you talking about? And all these old people, me and my sister gets them. She gets butthole knives, like we all know. And so I don't know, I don't know what it is. Might be anxiety. Like me and my sister both have it. And I know Andy B got it. It might be an anxiety thing. And also,
maybe it skips a generation.
Maybe
like blue eyes
or baldness. Like, my nerves are fucked up. When I touch my hand right here, I feel it in my throat. Like it feels like I'm rubbing my finger on my throat.
Well, okay, let me say this. I got this massage from this lady. Andy got me for like a gift for my birthday, I think. This lady did like TMJ massage. Yeah. And I don't have TMJ, but I've always got tight jaws. And I'm always looking for someone that'll massage above my neck, whether it's my jaw or my head. And a lot of masseuses don't fuck with that or whatever for whatever reason. So she found this lady that did a TMGA thing, and I went there, and the lady had a lot of different expertise, right? She did a lot of different types of massage. So I was telling her about it, and I was like, I don't really have TMJ. I just got this tight. And she goes, I'm going to try this thing I'm getting there, I promise. In your neck. I don't remember what she called the technique. It was probably like half woo-woo, right? Like not Reiki, but a step below that. So we sit down, we relax. She like puts her hands on my chest and stuff, and then she's like rubbing up through here, and she said, "This is the vagus nerve," and she starts working it, and then she says, "You're gonna feel it roll," and she hit the. She didn't even have the word done, and this wave went down my body through my left leg, back up through my face. All this relaxed. I started crying
in a hidden way.
Yes, but it was crazy because the next thing I know, she's talking to me while she's touching my right arm. In my head, I was like, how the hell is she reaching that far? I opened my eyes. She was not touching my neck anymore, but I thought she was.
Yeah.
Because she was touching me elsewhere, and it was like connected.
Yeah.
So I know that that's not, just Corey being – I mean, it might be like Taco Bell's palsy or something.
I got some nerve damage for sure.
But it happens is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got some nerve damage for sure because I've noticed like as I get older, like my fingers just be going numb every now and then. Like when I try to tie, like like if I'm trying to do something that requires an extreme amount of dexterity, like Amber's like, "Hey, take my necklace off" or whatever, my fingers would just be locking up like that. Like I would be the worst surgeon ever for that
this
reason
already
alone.
Doesn't hurt, and it's numb.
Your finger?
Both of them.
Yeah. See,
and it's like bad wounds.
Yeah, something's wrong with us. Ray, what's wrong with you?
Quality.
Nothing. It's January 6th. I'm having a great day. It's my
Happy
favorite holiday.
Christmas.
Yeah, favorite holiday. So I got my Eagle flag shirt on. Day for all patriots. We should change Patriots Day to January 6th, I think.
Why not?
No, I would tell you what I was thinking about earlier. You know how I feel like it's like a cultural hallmark of our, or at the very least, it's like a stereotype of our generation that we real cavalier about suicide.
Oh yeah.
How much responsibility do you think Papa Roach bears for that?
So much. Because
I don't know where they got off making an absolute chart-topping banger about suicide when we were all in our formative years, but that's exactly what they did. And that song was on the playlist of my Peloton ride earlier. And of course, that's one of those, it's like, that's not one that like you hear it again, you're like, God damn, I forgot about this song. It's been so long. That one, like, you don't ever forget that. That one sticks around.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. It's not like it ever really left, but still it came on this where I was like, God damn, the song fucking goes so hard.
It does.
And it's just completely about suicide. It's like, well, in my life tonight, chances are dynamite. But he's like not chances are dynamite. Yeah,
dude,
dynamite.
I thought it was chances are that I might.
No, it's dynamite. Right? It is dynamite, right, Corey?
Chances are dynamite.
Yeah, well,
Jimmy Walker.
I think chances are that I might.
Yeah.
Kill myself. Still kill myself. But I think, I hope you're right. I want you to know that I hope you're right so bad.
No, it's dynamite, bro. So
one of you look it up. Here's my quick story. Papa Roach. There was this kid, Tyler. He was like a goth type kid. He transferred into our school in high school, wore like a long coat, a trench coat, got suspended for that. One day I was walking by him and he goes, "Hey, it's Tom Green." And I just started going, "My bum is on the locker. My bum is on the locker." He was like, "I can't believe you know who that is." I was like, "Well,
what?
He's Tom Green, dude. He's on MTV." And he's like, "Well, I thought you were a jock." Anyway, next time we hung out, we were at a dance together and he's like, "You don't know this song." And he had told him to play it. And, of course, I knew every fucking word because, again, apparently he thought jocks didn't watch MTV. And he killed himself. So that was the moral of that story.
Oh, yeah.
Corey.
Yeah.
Drew is right. It is. It is chances are that I might. That makes it.
It makes it way more sense, but
yes, that makes it less funny for sure, which makes it hit not as hard.
It's hilarious that both of us thought the wrong thing.
Yeah, well, I've always thought.
You guys dare me? You guys dare me?
It's because it's such a funny. I was thinking earlier today. I was listening to it and I was like, God, that's such a funny lyric. Well, in my life tonight, chances are dynamite. Like it's just such a, like you said, it's like dynamite. Dynamite's just a funny way to. Me too. Like, I've always.
It makes so much sense that Drew knew the true words to the "Kill Yourself" song. Like we'd been fooled, but he had. By the way, this was my first thought when you brought that up because that was a huge song that we used to all sing. Like I'm pretty sure we sang it in like one of our music classes in middle school was literally just you went up and sang karaoke while the PE teacher sat there and played Duck Hunter on his computer, you know?
Yeah.
And we would sing that shit and nobody cared. And it'd be on in the car. Like, and my mom was like fairly vigilant. Like, we went to church. They were fairly vigilant about certain things, you know? That song
But
never
not you
came
killing
up.
yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, this is how little mental health anyone gave a fuck. Like, that song was on, everybody's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even a concern. Like, if they had said
Don't let the kids have songs about sex they might fuck. But if they kill themselves, that's less kids, not more. That's fine.
Like, if he'd have said the word booty sweat in that song, it would have been instantly gone. But because it was just about killing yourself, it was like, these rock and roll stars.
But I was thinking, like, I'm trying to look it up right now. It's not like
I know mine.
There haven't been. Oh my God, I'm gonna get put on a fucking list or get contacted by somebody. It's a
Are you
song.
just googling dynamite suicide?
No, I'm googling like suicide
Teenage
stuff,
suicide.
and I'm getting Google is giving me the here's
helpline.
Life means something. Here's a call you can make. That type of shit.
Yeah, but it's AI, so it's like whatever Reddit says to say.
But like, there's
do a
means something,
backflip.
except it doesn't. Fucking kill yourself.
like the MASH theme song, right? Was
The TV show?
yeah, Matt, which was the biggest TV show of all time.
Yeah, ever.
Right. Is called Suicide is Painless, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, suicide is painless. It
Don't Fear the Reaper
brings on many changes. There's also
Don't Fear the Reaper suicide?
I don't know. I think that's more just like
Welcome Death as a Friend.
Yeah, which is just badass,
It is
rock and
badass.
roll. yeah. That one feels
maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Papa Roach was kind of badass. While you're looking for this, my other Papa Roach story is they're like trying to come back, and they were on TikTok or whatever, and it was like he said something like it was him in the video, the guy, and the song was playing, and he said something like, "Do you remember where you were the last time you heard this song?" And I had it cut to me. I'm over the phone with a rolled up dollar bill pretending to snort a pill. And I went viral, and then my account got suspended for 2 weeks on TikTok.
I bet he's got grand roaches now.
That's true.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, I just was thinking there was another. I was thinking there's been like suicide songs and stuff, I'm sure. But I bet most of them didn't like go that hard. They're
that was like a positive, uplifting suicide song.
It was just
hard.
It just makes you want to headbang about killing yourself, know. But I don't know. It's just a funny hallmark of our formative years.
Dude,
I was
Linkin
about
Park
earlier.
definitely had a suicide song.
I think all theirs were like.
Oh no, he just committed suicide.
He sure
did.
And then they got somebody from Mossad to be their lead singer or some shit.
They have one that's very well. All right, so as maybe the trashiest among us, of course, I fuck with Linkin Park. Pretty hard. He long time. Chester Bennington suffered with depression for a long time. Finally killed himself. They hired a replacement about a year ago, something like that, and she turns out to be a hardcore Scientologist. And they don't, as a part of their whole thing is that they don't believe in mental health or psychology or none of that shit. So it's like an
weird look
insult to his memory, which I agree with. But anyway, also I don't want to hear a woman sing those songs.
Like least of my concerns.
I hear you, and I love Chester. It's close.
Yeah, the way he screams, you could see a woman screaming.
Did you see
that? They love to scream.
Did you see that Soundgarden got
sad because of like how it is outside or something?
Did you see Soundgarden got a new gal?
No, Chris Cornell's been replaced by a woman too.
And I only know this because I've never heard them sing. I'm certain it's great because honestly, there's not many situations where if you insert a black lady in music, it's going to be worse. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be like, it'll probably, I mean, you can't be better than Chris Cornell, but like, hey, he's got a one-of-one voice, absolutely get a black woman. But the only reason I know this is because they did a concert the other day. She kind of a bigger gal. And she went to crowd surf and they moved out the way and she fell.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
They didn't even try?
They some people were kind of trying, but here's what
That's
I think.
All or nothing.
I think
if you see one dude leave, we all got to get out of the way.
Yeah. And I think that like maybe they just weren't prepared for that. Cause like, I don't think crowd surfing's probably not as big a deal as it used to be with COVID and everything.
Well,
I don't
a lot of
fucking
women
know.
won't do it because they don't want to get groped.
Groped. Right. Well, yeah, no, she hit the flow.
Y'all, you got any idea how many subscriptions you've got out there? How many you've long since forgot about? Maybe some you've paying twice for, didn't even realize it. It happens to me all the time. I just realized the other day I've been paying like $65 a year for this app that lets me put Cho's face on a monkey's body. So got a lot of use out of that. You get drunk, you get these apps, you make a picture of your buddy, and you put like your friend into a meme of a fat girl falling down or whatever you do with it, and then you send it to them, and then you just forget. You wake up the next day and don't even remember you ever did that. But it was $65 damn dollars. You've done that 4 or 5 times. I know that we all do. I know it's not just me. Surely everybody. This is a common experience, and everybody's doing that. But I'm shocked to find the number of subscriptions that I still had that I didn't even know I had, just throwing money away. One of them, I don't even want to get into it, but I know this is the plague, an epidemic of our technological generation that's happened to us all. It's time to get that together, get organized. The start of the new year is the perfect time to get organized, set goals, and prioritize what matters most. And one of your top priorities has got to be your financial wellness. And thanks to Rocket Money, you can achieve those goals, because what Rocket Money does is they show you all those subscriptions right in one place, and it lets you very easily cancel the ones that you don't want anymore, the ones you forgot about. Rocket Money pulls together all of the spending across all of your different accounts, so you can clearly track all of your spending habits and see where you can cut back. You sign up for something, forget about it after the trial period ends, then you're charged month after month after month. We all know how it works. The subscriptions stay there, but you're not using them. Rocket Money can clear all that up for you. It's a modern solution to a modern problem. Cho, tell them more.
Dude, Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Also, another thing that it does, Trey may have touched on this, like not only can you cancel stuff, but oftentimes, and you do it, a lot of times you can just do it with a click of the button on the app, so you don't have to go through all the rigmarole. Sometimes, this happened to me on my cable. I went to cancel it, and Rocket Money just sort of lobbied on my behalf, and they ended up just lowering my payment. Like they just sort of like go to bat for you. And it's great. It's so much easier than having to call the 1-800 number or whatever. I absolutely love it. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. By the way, for me, it was closer to like 1,000. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/wellread today. That's rocketmoney.com/wellread. rocketmoney.com/wellread. Save you some money.
Today's WellRED podcast is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs and or entertainers to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website. I have done it myself. I've been using Squarespace now for probably 4 years, even before they started sponsoring the podcast. And I tell you what, it makes it really easy to throw stuff up on your website and design it without being some kind of computer whiz or understanding code. You can just be like, I want my background pink, and it'll be like, here's how you do that. And that's really helpful. Also, it helps you do different things, like I want this page to be my launch page, but this page to be where my tour dates are, or this page to be where my merch is. And that's really, really helpful if you know what you want your website to look like, but you're not someone who has experience creating one. Squarespace makes it easy, and I really, really like it. Trey, tell them about some of their features.
They got a lot of good features. Some of y'all out there, we got a lot of rural fans, so it doesn't matter what you do. You cut hair, you need a website. All right. What else do you do back home? You sell things on Etsy, you need a website.
Breed dogs.
You breed dogs, you need a website. We all need websites today. It's 2025. Get with the picture. And with Squarespace, they got what you need for all your website desires. They have a thing called Fluid Engine. Fluid Engine is a next generation website design system from Squarespace. It's never been easier for anybody to unlock unbreakable creativity. You can start with a best-in-class website template and customize every design detail with reimagined drag and drop technology for desktop or mobile. Stretch your imagination online with Fluid Engine, built and ready to go on any new Squarespace site. They also have a wonderful online store tool. You can sell your products in an online store, whether you sell physical, digital, or service products. Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling online. They have flexible website templates, as I already mentioned. You can get started with one of the professional website templates with designs for every category and use case. And then after that, you can customize your own look, update the content, and add features to fit your own unique needs. You can make any Squarespace template do what you want, so your idea, brand, or business stands out online on every device. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to www.squarespace.com/WellRED. That's WellRED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain at squarespace.com/WellRED to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain with Squarespace. Yeah, speaking of hit the floor, back to Linkin Park. I was thinking of the Linkin Park song. Hit the floor. Y'all know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you said they surely have suicide songs. I'm sure they do. I think their biggest suicide song that I can think of is
One Step Closer.
It's different. Yeah, is that one step closer to the edge?
I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I just assumed that was I'm gonna.
Yeah, but then the whole bridge of that song is "Shut up when I'm talking to you." That song went so hard for me.
So hard.
Shut up!
And dude, when they did it with Jay-Z, my God.
Anyway, that sounded more like I'm about to fucking snap and fuck shit up as opposed to kill myself. But the one about that's definitely, I think, killing yourself is called "One More Light." But the point of that song or whatever is like the chorus goes like, who cares if one more light goes out in this sky of a million stars? Who cares when someone's time runs out? All this stuff. And then at the end of the chorus, it goes, who cares if one more light goes out? And then he pauses and goes, well, I do, so it's gay like that. It's gay about suicide.
Yeah.
It's like, saying, hey, don't do it type thing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes Last Resort like different. Is like
there's
also Adam's song. Adam's song's an awesome song.
Blink-182 makes me cry, bro.
That song rules, but it's like, it's sad.
It's so sad, based on a true story.
Most songs about suicide are sad for fucking, Kid Rock, fucking Sheryl Crow. That's my drinking himself to death.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, she put the bottle through my head and pulled the trigger. Yeah, that's Brad Paisley and
Sheryl Crow. Right?
No, not Sheryl Crow. Carrie Underwood.
I think it's Alison Krauss, boys.
God damn.
It is Alison Krauss.
Are there two different songs here? Like Whiskey Lullaby.
The Kid Rock one is just about cheating, and you turn your picture around so you can cheat on the person. Whiskey Lullaby is about.
But that Kid Rock song is with Sheryl Crow, isn't it?
Yes. But this one's with
Whiskey
Alison Krauss.
Brad Paisley. Where he alludes to ending it all.
It's with Alison Krauss, and they drink themselves to death because the relationship went sour.
That bottle to his head and pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good song.
It is Alison Krauss and Brad Paisley. Yeah, it is a good song. Yeah. So anyway, drinking yourself to death is not. Does that really count as suicide? I mean, I guess it's where you weigh in on that? Some people just drink themselves to death because they just hit real hard for 20 years.
There are some psychologists that use the term like prolonged or slow suicide or whatever for people who they're not ever going to actually do one complete act, but they're suicidal in the sense of they don't care. They want to die and they'll just live their life accordingly. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying?
Slow suicide.
Yeah. So
right.
I don't trust anybody who ain't done that for at least once.
Cause some of those overdoses or whatever, I could say I don't know if they actually meant that night to die. I just think that they be taking pills a lot because they don't care if they die, and that night maybe they took too many. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's y'all ever heard Clout Cobain by Denzel Curry?
No, I've never heard any of them words.
That is a sick title for a song.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know who Denzel Curry is, Joe?
I don't think so.
He's a rapper.
Maybe I have. Maybe I do. I get all my rap stuff from y'all. So if y'all hadn't told me about him, then I don't.
Doesn't he also have no? That's never mind.
Anyway, I think it's kind of suicide-y, but he also it's a rap song, right? And he goes, "I just want to feel myself. You want me to kill myself, man? I've been on my own. Lord, I really need some help. I just want to feel myself. You want me to kill myself, man? It's been so damn long dealing with the things I felt." But then in the chorus, he references suicide, but like the doors that go up on a Lambo or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Suicide doors.
Yes, he says suicidal doors, call it Kurt Cobain. Suo leather seats like a bloody stain. Y'all never heard that song? It's a good song.
I have.
It's pretty sweet.
I don't
Anyway,
think so. I love
Actually,
the
no, I
topic
haven't.
you've picked today. And by the way, you have definitely still proven through this discussion that, like, yeah, I think that Papa Roach has the only go hard pro suicide song.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of every suicide song I can think of that comes to mind. And it's like, they've got the only one that like fucking fires you the fuck up. Like,
yeah,
They got the only one that works. It keeps you from doing it, dude.
yeah, it's
Because even if it made you hype, like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do it, you'd feel so good. You'd be like, I can't yet. Song's not over. Play it again.
yeah, I'm serious. They're gonna send
that's funny that this just came up. 800-pound Jesus. Have you ever heard that song by that Paul Thorne? It's not like pump you up, but it is definitely it's a really funny song about suicide, kind of.
That in what way? What do you mean?
I don't remember. I just remember that it's kind of a funny song about suicide. But still, it doesn't go hard.
I'm certain now that it's not funny.
It's kind of funny. Yeah. I will. By the way,
I'm certain that you're like you were on pills and you not because I think you're wrong. It just that would be the funniest outcome here.
Hold on.
Like, I don't remember it, but it's hilarious.
Hold
and we
on.
look it up
Hold on. Regardless if the lyrical content is funny, what I mean is it's at least an example of that Third Eye Blind song where it's like the melody is all upbeat and stuff, but the lyrics are, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not a sad seeming song. Like it's in a major fucking chord and it's meant to be light. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of songs, a lot of Elliott Smith shit that's suicide-y is.
I thought of another song that's about. It's not about the person. Far Behind by Candlebox is about a suicide.
Yeah, it is.
That song fucking goes hard.
It goes. It's
Candidate for Suicide by Hank 3. Do you think waiting around?
It is also sad. You're right. It's like that song goes hard, but it's like sad too. Where it's like Last Resort don't make anybody sad.
Nobody's sad. No.
Nobody. Like no one's like actually on the verge of suicide. I don't think. Like in a bathtub with a razor, listening to Papa Roach.
Fade
you know
to
what
Black.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Metallica. It
mean,
goes.
Is that about suicide or just dying?
It says on this Wikipedia list that it's about suicide.
And Far Behind is another one like Adam's song where it's about the suicide of a friend.
Right.
Like Last Resort is about killing yourself.
Right.
Far Behind and Adam's song is about knowing someone who killed themselves. So that's obviously it's pretty different.
Stan.
Well, I mean that's a whole other.
There's
thing.
one in there.
Yeah, but that's about a lot more than just he killed his pregnant old lady and himself, and
that's true.
A lot of still counts.
Yeah. It goes though.
That's a murder suicide song.
Sure.
Another.
That's a ballad. I think that's a ballad.
Sure.
Another murder suicide rap song that hits real hard, but it wasn't a hit. It's wild that Stan was a hit, but Undying Love by Nas is a real hit and murder suicide song from back in the day. But like we just be joking. Again, our generation and stuff. I'm sure the younger kids probably do too. I don't think joking about suicide, whatever. But we started that though. I think.
Yeah, that's us. We saw 9/11 and we were like, "Fuck it, everything's on the board." Jeremy by Pearl Jam.
Yeah, but again, the song hits real hard, but it's like a bummer.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah, we're not going to find one. Last Resort stands alone.
Here's how cavalier about it we are. When you said cavalier, I just started thinking about death by horses, like trying to kill yourself, suicide via
stretching
horse.
it out where you get quartered.
Yeah. But you do it yourself.
Yeah. What's the funny or?
What's the funniest way to commit suicide?
No, funniest like suicide memes is what I was thinking because the one that I thought of. Have you seen I'm sure you've seen the dude with it's like. It's a guy who I think he's like an Arab guy or a black guy or something, but he keeps acting like he's gonna. I haven't seen it in a while. It's not that I can't tell those apart, but he's like got a big smile on his face and everything, and he's like acting like he's gonna drink bleach and then act like he's gonna jump off a balcony and acting like he's gonna hang himself and all that. Have y'all ever seen that one? You know what I'm talking about? It's fucking hilarious. It gets me every time.
I saw one that not long ago that was it was a stitch, where like it was a video and then somebody did a reaction to the video or whatever. It was this woman in her car on some sanctimonious mental health rant, as I've gone on many a times, talking about how there needs to be a fast acting. She's like, why isn't there a fast acting pill for depression, a way to get rid of the depression really quick? And then it cuts to this girl who's standing in front of a moving train, just going, you know. And
also, they call that ecstasy, I think, or
right.
MDMA. You know, they got those.
They do definitely have those. And I guess
a bunch of Xanax, which I understand is what the train joke was.
I mean, that's what I used to be doing. Yeah. Do you think we're so maybe like if our generation obviously didn't go like with us specifically, we saw a bunch of motherfuckers die from the opioid crisis, and we saw a lot of kids die young and shit because of all this. Like, do you think that's why it is, or it's just like we grew up on the internet? We didn't grow up on the internet, but because we got the internet, the first of any generation, it was just meant to be.
I think it's that. I think that dark jokes, it's like one of those things where they don't spread as much. Like, I think a lot of people would have found suicide funny in the 70s, but it was like, well, we can only joke about it with certain people. And the internet made everybody go, wait a minute.
We all like it?
We all think this is hilarious? Kind of want to do it?
Yeah, that's another one, too, is that all of us are like, I can joke about it because I might do it. You know what I mean? We feel very close to it.
Yep. Maybe we're sadder, though.
We're definitely sadder.
We're definitely sadder. I think it seems like every generation is sadder.
Seems sad.
They're more apathetic, wouldn't you say?
Who?
Like now,
Gen X.
I'm talking about when they were teens.
But they created all the slacker culture and grunge and all that when they were that age, when they were young.
They're also doing heroin.
Yes.
I guess that's what I was thinking about.
But it feels more nihilistic, cynical, apathetic type to me than like
to be sad, you have to care.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I think it's like absurdism almost.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's the funniest thing I could do.
We might be the first generation to care. That's our problem.
It's definitely been a problem, yeah.
It's definitely my problem. It's definitely what's been holding me back and making me want to commit suicide.
I mean, I think it's like backed up by data and shit at this point. If you, especially if you want to categorize caring as meaning like on a political scale or something, caring about other types of people and that type of thing, i.e., being a progressive. I mean,
we're
I've
also
seen a bunch of stuff that said that our generation is literally the most whatever progressive,
including Gen Z, I think.
Oh yeah, no, like by a lot. Like
because the pendulum swung back on them.
Well, see, used to it went in that one direction. Used to it trended that way gradually over time. Every generation was more progressive than the one before it. Politically, the pendulum would swing back and forth. That's true, but generationally, that was always the case. Every generation was more progressive relative to their time than the one that came before them. But it was slow until us and Gen Z. And we are more progressive than
But I think that the reason that it swung back is because it was always like a trickling thing, like a little bit, and then our generation like
took
leaps
it real
and bounds,
far,
and then
Gen Z was like, y'all are gay. This sucks.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, for sure. And also Gen Z listens to their boomer papaws talk about how we're gay, and they're like, they are gay. You know what I mean? Like they're in it
also
together.
Who's raising them?
Yeah,
so it's who they're growing up around.
That's true. And that's another thing, too. We are like, and by the way, not putting us up on some sort of pedestal like we just decided to do this. It was a cultural thing, I guess. But like, we're definitely the first generation of parents, of dads, to actually be like, we're going to be in this just like the mom and be like super caring and stuff.
We did not raise Gen Z, though. Gen Z is Gen X's kids.
Yeah, for sure.
We're raising Gen Alpha. So whatever's going on with Gen Z, that ain't on us.
And Beta.
We're like their older uncles or whatever, cousins. Like we're not their parents.
How upset do you think the Beta kids are going to be with the name Beta? They just threw that on them. Y'all, are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? It is the new year. It's time to get everything together. I'm trying my best. Well, Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. By the way, not to mention, it's also great when you're like me and you have a youngin'. Factor arrives fresh, fully prepared, perfect for any active, busy lifestyle. Lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor Keto meals based on a randomized, controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary depending on diet and exercise. with 40 options across 8 dietary preferences. I didn't even know there was that many dietary preferences, but there is on the menu each week. It's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Factor can help you feel your best all day long with wholesome smoothies, which I absolutely love. Breakfast grab and go snacks and more add-ons. Reach your goal this year with ingredients you can trust and convenience that frankly can't be beat. Trey, you love Factor. We both do.
Big fan of Factor. Yes, main thing for me is probably the convenience factor of Factor. Especially, I love to cook. Here's the thing: you may not hear this and think like, "No, look, I'm a cook. I don't need this type of
I
thing."
felt the same way.
I love to cook. Trust me, you still want this because it still hits. Because like, I'm not going to whip up a full blown meal for like lunchtime, right? That's just not. It just doesn't make sense. It's not efficient. You don't have the time. Who among us has the time for that kind of undertaking? Certainly not me. So for a long time, I was just like eating pouches of tuna over the sink at lunch, but like you still want stuff that hits. And that's when I found Factor. And that's what I love about it is that it's just, it's a quality, legitimately hitting meal that you don't have to put all the time and effort into. 2 minutes later, you can have it, you can eat it, and you can have a lunch that's actually genuinely enjoyable without wasting time and, keeping you going about your day. So that's probably my number one favorite thing. That and also the variety. The variety is very impressive. They have all kinds of different options over there at Factor, as Cho referenced. They got all the chicken. They got this jalapeno cheddar chicken joint that hits real hard for me. Super fire. So yeah, and it's not just me. If you don't want to take it from me, we got sent our first samples of Factor, and then my wife went and immediately signed us up as subscribers.
We've been on it.
She loved them so much immediately too. So you need to eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/WellRED50 off. And use the code WellRED50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code WellRED50 off at factormeals.com/WellRED50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Factor, make it hit.
Playoffs? We're talking about the playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the actions at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Drew, we some big DraftKings boys. We are constantly sharing each other's values with one another.
Buddy, I'm on DraftKings all the time. Let me tell you what I like to do. I like to bet weird bets, what I consider weird bets, non-mainstream, not who's going to win the game, who's going to lose the game, who's going to score a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
The best.
You put $2 on that, they're going to give you great odds. If you end up hitting it, you're going to win. I love it. I love DraftKings. I've been having fun on it. I think you know that the day Tennessee beat North Carolina State in North Carolina, I was there at the game, also betting on that game and other games. I hit a parlay, won like $650. Tennessee won the game. And then I spent that money on a big dinner for me and my friends. DraftKings, you are the king.
Oh, dude, they are absolutely the king. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WellRED. That's code WellRED for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8 HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort out of Kansas. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Cho, you was this close to absolutely smashing that disclaimer at the end.
Did I fuck it up?
No, you didn't. You just slipped up on the word responsible. I don't remember. You like fumbled the word.
Ah,
I'm saying I was following along with you and like all them numbers and letters and all that bullshit. Yeah, and you were like, I was like, God, he's about to fuck. I just kept waiting on you to fuck it up. And I was getting progressively more excited as you continued to not fuck it up.
And then at the very end,
I was like, he's going to make it. And then at the very end, you're like, responsible. responsible.
I literally got all the hard ones out.
Yeah. Is that Gen
That's the
Alpha's
new
over
one.
and Gen Beta?
Yeah, the new ones
So
are
y'all's
Gen
babies
Beta.
is Gen Beta?
No, Bane's Alpha because he was born 2 years ago. It just started.
How do you even make the decision at a point when they're all still like when do you say like, okay, Gen Alpha's over now?
Well,
like how,
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's definitely
my mom-
supposed to be divided by events, not just numbers.
I mean, my mother-in-law's like 1 year away from being a boomer. She's technically Gen X.
but that's events. That's like an event. The boomers were the boom and explosion post-war, and then the few people born after that for a few years who had the similar cultural experience. It's supposed to be cultural experience.
then-
That's why I always say old millennials like myself who were raised rural, I think we're closer to Gen X.
Agreed.
Because being rural, we had a similar experience. I feel like I had a similar experience to my brother.
Couldn't agree more. And also, I thought that they were, and I knew this was like an unofficial term, but like during COVID or whatever, I thought they were calling all them babies Zoomers because of, like I guess we was all on Zoom and shit. Like like our whole lives were on Zoom.
I think
and
that's
stuff.
what Gen Z is.
That's what it means is Zoomer. Like they
well,
just.
I think Gen Z became the name of their generation. Don't ask me how that happened, but it became Gen Z, and then Boomer, and then Gen Z Zoomer.
Yeah.
I think that's all that was.
But yeah, it
We're
doesn't
dumb,
seem like
aren't
we
we?
should have had another one since then. Like that should still be the ones.
Gen Z. You
Yeah.
mean like Gen Alpha shouldn't? It's funny because
No,
apparently
no.
my
Gen Z's
sons
like
are
20.
apparently my sons are either the very oldest Gen Alpha kids or the very youngest Gen Z kids, depending on
Right.
which thing you look at. And it's funny because we were talking about that,
So they us.
and Bishop goes, "Well, none of us are like on the border. I'm pretty sure the borderline of millennial and Gen X is like 81
It feels like it though, culturally. I
because
guess
we're
what Drew
rural
said.
and shit.
Yeah,
I'm pretty close to being an
but-
old millennial, though. I think I'm considered
I
an
still
old
think we are
millennial.
old millennials, but we're not. I'm talking about the dividing line
Right.
between the two.
No, I'm not that, but I'm 3 or
Right.
4 years from that. I think my category is elder millennial.
Yeah, I think we're all elder millennials.
Yeah.
but,
No,
but
I think it's 80 to 84.
so.
think-
What are me and Cho then? Just regular
Regular
ass
millennials.
millennials. Yeah,
And then there's younger millennials.
80 to 84. Okay.
I
Anyway,
think.
when we were talking about that, about how they're either Gen Z or Gen Alpha, they're on the border between two generations or whatever. Bishop said, "Well, I really hope it's Gen Z because I'm not loving what I'm seeing out of these Gen Alpha kids." That's what he said.
he's Gen
12
X.
and he's already over their bullshit.
Yeah, he's 13 talking about 9-year-olds being stupid and shit.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. But beta. Well, that's what, they've kept it. It's like there was, I wonder how they went from boomer to, because they had the greatest generation. I get, yeah. But anyway, fucking, I don't know how they got away with that. But they went baby boomers, like Drew said, that's there's
The boom.
called that
There was a
because it was a
thing.
literal baby boom. It's a thing that happened.
Right.
But then, then it went Gen X, and then we
85,
would
by
have
the
been
way.
Gen Y, right?
Yeah.
But we weren't because of the millennium, right? So they were like millennials, which makes sense. But then they just went back
Hold
to
on.
Gen
we were
Z.
Y, then they
Y
just
is
went back to
1000.
Z, then
Right.
A, and now B. They're just
I don't
going like
That's true.
alphanumerically.
But Y is 1000.
No,
Y2K? Am
Y
I wrong?
means year.
no. K is the 1,000.
K's the
in that.
1000?
Yeah,
What's the Y?
Year.
year
Okay.
2000. Y2K,
Okay.
yeah. And in Roman
What's that
numerals,
theory?
in Roman numerals, M is 1,000.
Yeah.
So millennium. But anyway, but I'm saying other than us, which you understand the reason why they went with millennial for us because of the new millennium. Other than us, the past few have just been just X, Y, Z, A, B. That's all they're doing. There's ain't nothing special to it.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Well, that's just like us to demand to be special. By the way, elder millennials 80 to 85.
Okay. Well, I'm still not in that. Katie's old ass is in that. So
I just realized, I think by that, I'm 99% sure, if I'm doing my math right, that my brother is technically a millennial by like 4 months.
When was he born?
3 full months because he's born at the very beginning of April. He also gets out of prison soon. So
There
really,
you go.
I mean,
We'll see
that
what
makes sense. We've
generation
known
that
each
is.
other for so long now. But like, when you say soon, what do you
A
what
whole
do you mean?
sentence.
What do you mean by soon?
February.
This
Suddenly it feels
February?
weird to say it like super specific, but yeah, real soon.
Damn. Well, how are you feeling about that?
It's odd, you know. I mean, I don't want him to stay in there forever, but I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy for him, but I'm very nervous. I
Sure.
don't think he deserved to be in there forever, and I don't think he deserves to get out, but I'm very nervous.
You said you don't think he should be in there forever, and he deserves to get out, but you're very nervous. Do you mean like acclimating back to society,
Yeah, I mean,
or
it's gotta be
the
rough.
family, or all that?
All that, I'm mostly nervous for my mom and his children and his ex-wife. I'm nervous for him some, I guess. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, well, fuck him, like, get it together or not. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I mean?
that's a big ask. I mean, that's especially considering when he went in and what he's coming out to. Like, it's a fucking different game.
That's true, but he's never been, you know, like, my brother's as smart as I am, and he worked for the railroad because he never had any interest. Like, he was a paramedic for a little while. That was the only kind of thing where he like felt like using his brain. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but even if he had never been in, the computer stuff would have barely affected him. He might get into online gambling. I could see that.
Right.
But other than that, he was always woods. You know, I mean, we had cell phones and, you know, like smartphones, I'm pretty sure, when he went in, and he didn't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah, but they weren't like, when he went in, they weren't as it feels like they're necessary now. Like, used to, it was like a choice you made, and now it's like if you don't have it, you're like behind somehow.
You need a cell phone. I don't know if you need a smartphone. I mean, he'll get into YouTube. He'll just be my dad. He'll be watching hunt
Right.
videos on YouTube and then trying to tell me that fucking the reason the bees are dying is because of the trans community.
If you don't mind me
He's
asking,
gonna
like,
be stupid about it.
I was gonna say, like, if you don't mind me asking, like, what line of work you think he's gonna, you know, jump into or whatever.
I mean,
I know
that's part of like
difficult.
my nervousness, dude. We begged him, just as one example, we begged him. I didn't, but Mom did, to
Get a degree?
get his HVAC while he was in there, and he just didn't. I mean, he's gonna be a grunt if he can.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, this is part of the nerves, you know. There's one thing he used to be good at, you know what I mean? A couple of them.
Yeah.
That's still very available. So that's part of why I'm nervous. So if anyone's having a hard time reading through the lines, he can make meth
Right.
and sell pills.
Yeah.
Well,
Meth's back. He waited that out. That's good.
right. Oh, it's back.
Yeah, meth's back.
Not that it ever went anywhere. You know what I'm
Mostly
saying?
with the gays. Am I right? I am
Yeah.
right.
That is funny how like meth now is like it's jumped up a couple classes. Like,
If you make it correctly, my understanding is it's still very dangerous, but like the stuff we saw growing up was because they were making it with like battery acid and
Yeah.
stuff. So people were snorting along with a very
Freon.
hard on you drug. Like imagine the hardest you ever partied, like booze, cocaine. Imagine also that night you drink battery acid.
right. I remember one time when we were in high school in football, pills were the new thing. Meth had been around. This dude came to speak to the football team about meth or whatever.
No teeth.
Yeah. And he's talking about like just telling you all the dangerous stuff that's in it to try to make you not want to do it. And he starts listing off all this, how you make meth. And my goddamn buddy Bubba's over here at the end. He goes, "You forgot red phosphorus." And he goes, "You're right. I did forget red phosphorus." And it was fucking hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
This is not exactly the same thing, but you just made me think of this. When I was in high school once, I probably told this story before, but it's definitely been a really long time if I have. When I was in high school, they brought cops in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what the reason was. Like, I can't remember if something had happened, but they called everybody in the auditorium and they brought like local cops in there to.
Was it that one of the sheriff's daughters was dating one of your football players?
No, I think it was like
the cops in.
the dangers of drinking and driving or
Right.
something like that type of thing.
Oh.
Like, listen, we've been hearing reports. Y'all need to get it together type of shit. And and toward the end of it, they asked if anybody had any questions, and I raised my hand. They were like, "Yeah, right there." And I was like, "Hey, so is it true that like if y'all pull me over and ask to like open my trunk or my glove compartment or something like that, like I don't have to do that. And they were like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, technically, yes, that is true. We are supposed to have a warrant to be able to do that. And dude, immediately, like 5 or 6 of the reddest ass motherfuckers, it's good, like their hands went, they're like, hold on, wait a minute, what? Are you telling me? Are you serious? And it like devolved,
Derailed the whole thing.
Derailed it bad, like
That's
bad,
so
like
great.
it got real out of control. Like they complete, like it just. Everybody's like talking over each other back and forth, and the principal had to like step in and all this shit or whatever. It was really funny, but yeah, they didn't, because of course nobody knew that shit, and of course they were abusing it all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they pretty much just do whatever they want, and it really don't matter. Also, this was back in the days when a group of redneck children would hate the cops, which was a nice bygone era.
Dude, especially in Salina, I mean, I know we talked about this a ton. I'm sure it was that way everywhere, but dude, in Salina in particular, because we were really overly policed, because there was this guy who actually was like a real close friend of my grandpa, but still, none of this hits for me. But he was a Tennessee State Trooper, Tennessee Highway Patrolman, pretty like high up in the Tennessee Highway Patrol, but was from Salina, and so he managed to get a like whatever they're called, an outpost or a station or whatever of the state troopers put in Salina, which is absurd.
So
we ain't even got fucking highways in Salina, really. There's no reason for there to be a state trooper fucking station in Salina. But then on top of that, the local police presence was like we had way more cops than we ever needed, and couldn't keep the school open because the county was so poor. But what fucking had 2 times
that's where I'm at right now, by the way.
2 times as many cops as we ever needed. So we were way over policed in Salina, and they took a lot. They would get bored. They just fucked with teenagers a lot, right? And of course, a lot of teenagers were drag racing and selling pills and fucking, doing.
But you don't need
shit.
a bunch of cops to get them to stop doing that.
Like they fucked with us all the time. There wasn't nothing else to do in Salina but ride around town and shit. And there was always some cop fucking with you for some reason. Like everybody hated the goddamn cops in Salina when I was growing up there, like universally. And it's just so,
I've told this story before.
It's so wild to me that all those same dudes now, or those guys that I grew up with, their kids who are now driving, got like blue line Punisher stickers on the back of their trucks or whatever.
Is it still like heavy cop, there? Like, are those kids being fucked with?
That I don't know, because, I hardly ever go back, and I'm not out and about when I am. So I'm not sure if it's still like that or not, but it used to be.
I don't know about the kids here, but I've been pulled over 5 times.
We got a lot
since I moved back in April,
dude.
And I'd finally switched my tags over, and that seems to have helped a little. I think a lot of it was that I had California plates. I'm not kidding. There are 12 cop cars in this county between here and Oneida, where I drive to go to Walmart. It's about a 10-minute drive. I see them almost every time, usually more than one. It's either sheriff or police. This is one of the smallest counties in the state. It is, Brian talks about it. Brian works here but lives down in Morgan County. He's like, dude, somebody called somebody or something. There's no way they should. It's like what you just said, Trey. It's something like that, but people don't seem to mind it. And I see him pulling people over all the time. I think maybe it's that, like, I hang out with Andy's family, and then, like, I don't have any friends here, so I just meet who they know.
Yeah, right.
And they don't fuck with the rich people. That's my only theory.
Yeah, they probably don't.
Yeah, I mean, where I live, like, we got the Chickamauga cops, obviously, but then the town over is the county seat, so we've got Brownie County, which is what we call the county sheriffs and stuff. They're running around, and also there's a fucking Georgia State Patrol outpost right there. So, like, in this little area where not shit goes on, it's just fucking, it's smoky everywhere, dude. And like Chickamauga cops, like, not that long ago, like, they got like brand new Dodge Chargers or whatever. And I'm like, and dude, like where we live is so small that by the time you get that Charger up to max speed, you are out of your goddamn jurisdiction. You know what I mean? Like there's no fucking reason whatsoever. But then meanwhile, it's like, well, the town can't afford this and afford that. And I'm like, why the fuck do we, like it makes no goddamn sense. But like, dude, back in the day, I mean, I've told this story before, but I literally choked a cop out in a pool, and it was met with great acclaim from everyone. Like, even the adults were like, fuck yeah, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? And like, because I know some people some of my buddies I've talked to about, that I've been like, dude, we used to hate the fucking law. They'll be like, yeah, well, then I grew up. And I'm like, your daddy didn't. He hated them back then, too. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just the kids that hated the cops. Like, everybody hated them.
Man, it's so weird too when you think about the money aspect. I don't like that is so the only crimes I can think of that have made the news beyond the local paper in years here in this town is a cop body cam footage going viral because he was really mean to a homeless lady and laughing at her.
In Oneida?
Yeah.
They got homeless people, and I feel like
there
this came up
she was like passing through, which is why the cops got called. I mean, it was a bore, like it made news, because he was just mean. And then the other time was a sheriff deputy shot another sheriff deputy. He claimed on accident, but that sheriff deputy was going to run against his daddy. This was like a famous
That's a
case.
podcast. Yeah,
I think there was a podcast about it and stuff. So my point is, like, the cops are doing the only famous crimes here. Everything else is like some dude beating his wife, which is bad, but that's also a cop most of the time, just statistically. Yeah. So like what I'm saying is, like, we have all these cops. There's no they're not getting extra arrests. They're not doing anything except tickets. They are doing more tickets.
Doge.
You've always gotten one of them.
Doge, man. They got to take care of these fucks. We had a cop. This was a couple years back. I don't even know if he's still a cop anymore, but there was they claim there was some sort of standoff. This fucking guy wouldn't get out of his car, and then he finally did, and they thought he was armed or whatever. And anyways, there were shots fired, and this cop got shot in the leg, and it was like this whole big old thing. Well, come to find out, the cop accidentally shot himself in the fucking leg, and was, the butt of all the jokes in the town, because he was all like, at first was just like, they were like, wounded warrior, caught in the line, Purple Heart, and turns out he just pulled his gun shittily and shot himself in the thigh.
I try to decide what's funnier is if he knew he did that and let people believe it, or if he also thought somebody else shot him for a few days.
I'm sure he did.
Hell, I don't know who did it, man. It was fucking crazy. We was in a full-on fight there.
Dude, I had a buddy, too. This motherfucker, he got shot like 12 goddamn times by the cop. This is like 7 years ago. He gets shot like
with 50 Cent.
Kinda. He gets shot like it's Confederate money. He got shot like 12 fucking times by the cops because he had a warrant out for his arrest, right? And they come to his house, and he comes out with a gun. And I'd heard that, and then he was in the hospital for quite a while, didn't die, like quite a while. And I was like, well, that's the end of that. And I kind of hadn't been paying attention that much. It's like 7 years ago. Dude, I seen the other day on Facebook, this motherfucker got married, looks great. Like he's cleaned his fucking life up, but like got shot fucking 12 goddamn times. And you will not believe.
At once?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, wild how.
It'd be so much funnier if the answer was no.
No.
They came back a week later, got his ass again.
Yeah, shot him once in court.
Some people.
but dude,
I'm just saying, it's wild how.
I think I talked about that on this, and I'm not mentioning names because I genuinely like the guy. Right? Yeah, we were friends in high school, and I don't know what went down. Listen, I'm certain that he deserved to be shot at least once. I don't know. But like when that happened, everybody in town was all of a sudden overreaching cops, whatever the fuck, for this one specific, thing. And it was very interesting.
I remember people got mad in Knoxville years ago because a cop choked out a white frat boy at UT. Yeah. And it would, he oughtn't have. It was stupid. It was bullshit. But like,
it was wild.
The response was swift. Like that cop got fired.
Of course,
it got handled. It got handled very quickly. Because it was like some dealership owner's son who was, in SIG-Ep at UT or whatever it was. But But there ain't no telling how many black people they stayed shooting. I don't even know. Didn't even make the news. Drew probably knows, but
I had a thing I wanted to ask you. This is way off topic, but I just need to know. So I've been playing a lot more video games lately. I used to when I was a kid all the time, but then I sort of, fell off or whatever. But I've been playing a lot more lately and super enjoying it. I got a PS5. I'll be playing all the, Last of Us, the Ghost of whatever the fuck, like the hitting games and stuff like that. Been playing Witcher or whatever. And I see this online discourse and it just blows my mind because, like, let me ask you, Trey, have you been playing a video game recently and you thought to yourself, God, I can't enjoy this because I don't want to fuck this lady that's on the screen?
no, I've never wanted. I'm not just saying this. I've never had any, even the remotest of sexual attractions to computer generated or hand drawn women. Like, meaning,
save for Jessica Rabbit back in the day.
Even that, I get that. I get that the way she's drawn. I get that, like, if Jessica Rabbit was real, she'd be an insanely attractive. Yeah, actually, if she was,
they did that. They did a mock up of like what she would actually look like, and it's like, no, you wouldn't think that. She'd look like an alien.
Well, if you made the real life version of her,
Joan from Mad Men.
But anyway, but like all that Japanese fucking cartoon porn and stuff, like,
tentacle butts.
You can find like Lois Griffin getting gang banged and stuff.
Where? Link.
You trust me, you can find it. You never been on a porn site and seen it?
I'm just hitting.
Yeah.
Where? Link, Lois.
But
send me the link so I make sure I never watch it.
But all that stuff has existed for a long time, cartoon porn and stuff, and then CGI generated, computer generated characters with big old titties and stuff. I've just never, it ain't never made my wiener move at all in my whole life. Like, even as a kid, even as like a horny ass teenager playing video games, like Lara Croft. I get that Lara Croft is hot,
right?
But I never she never gave me a boner.
It wouldn't ruin your experience of the game if she was flat chested. Like, you're there to shoot people and solve.
I feel like to even care about any of that to begin. Well, actually, no. I don't know how. I know I'm all over the place. I was going to say I feel like to even care about that to begin with, you have to want to fuck these characters, which I never have, so I don't get it. But a lot of that is just motivated by, how much they hate wokeness, and they're like they're white dudes who think that. They buy into all that red pill fucking manosphere bullshit and also play video games. And the two things get, linked up together. So when it's like they make a fucking, they change the protagonist of a video game series to a woman who's like not nymphy, she's like kind of hard around the edges and actually has armor that covers up her cleavage and all this stuff, and they see that and they're like, this is what wokeness has done to video games. And they do that with movies and shit too. It's not limited to video. They do that with everything.
With movies, it's at least is a real person.
It is a real person.
And I could see somebody going like, half of my enjoyment is the eye candy. Like, whatever. I think you should just enjoy the story. But at least then I'm like, okay, whatever, But like, it's a fucking video game, dog. Like, I'm mostly playing Batman. He got a mask on. Like, what does it even fucking matter? Like, we're just trying to murder motherfuckers and hit and cast spells. Like, I don't understand.
You don't understand people wanting to be turned on while they're entertained? I don't get what you don't get.
Okay, but watch a porno. Like, go, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't
like. If they all of a sudden just took all my favorite pornos and replaced the actress with the ugly bitch, I'd be upset about that.
I'm sorry to try to out nerd these nerds a little bit, and I've seen other people make this argument, but like, I'm more into the immersion.
Me too. The story.
And I think that it breaks immersion. For example, I play these games. They're the Horizon franchise, Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, they're awesome. Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. And the protagonist of those games is a woman named Aloy. And she's like, she white, but she like an Indian because it's way in the future and white people are Indians now. It all makes sense in the context of the game. But anyway, so she's wearing Indian stuff, hides and shit like that. She got face paint, war paint, and all this stuff. And like her titties ain't out or none of that stuff. if they were, that
Make
would
no sense.
bother me because
Right.
I would be like, why would she be dressed like that? She's a huntress,
Right.
who has to go to these far north lands with snow, and she needs to be wearing furs. It's stupid for her titties. That would
Right.
bother me if her titties were out.
Right.
These other guys are the exact opposite. Anytime a woman is in a video game, the titties better be out, or they don't want the bitch to be there.
It almost would never make
what.
sense for them to be good looking in a video game. Like, like in a zombie thing or whatever. It's like the good looking lady's not going to make it that far. You know who is, though? The Uggo that's had to fight for everything in her life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but also just badass is not like, I don't know. That ain't true. You know, like, what's her name? She's been every badass Latina for the past 30 years. Michelle Rodriguez. That's her name, right?
Yeah. You're right.
You know,
I was going to say, in movies, they do this all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys kind of brought it up where, like, you know, it'll be set in the Old West where motherfuckers had one tooth and they all have malaria, but everyone's hot.
Right.
Yes.
So, like, the immersion thing, I get that argument, but either it's kind of bullshit, like you'd get used to it because you get used to it with movies, or culturally, movies have just trained us to suspend our disbelief in that very specific way. Because, but here's the thing about that: ugly actors often don't make money as the leads. That in TV shows they can, if you put surrounded by hot people and you make
if
them
you're
like
a dude.
Thanks, Steve Buscemi, shout out.
Or
But
Kathy Bates.
Then, what?
Kathy Bates.
Hey,
Or
she's
Kate.
cute. Yeah, well, she just, you know, I mean, she a
big old gal.
grandma now,
Yeah.
you know. But, bro, Kathy Bates ain't never been a sex. Look, dude, Kathy Bates rules. Don't get me wrong. But she ain't a sex symbol, you know.
Well,
I'm just saying that I think the immersion argument makes sense on paper. Like, I'm going to get lost if you make this chick hot, but I don't think it actually carries weight. If they just did it across the board in the industry, I actually don't think that would carry water.
sure, but but either way, the point of the game to me would be to shoot the dude on the horse and get the gold.
But it's also, there's other things, too, where it's like, even the ones that are, like, I know y'all saw it because somebody threaded it the other day.
Hey, it was the Witcher one.
No, not that one. GTA 6. There's a GTA 6 trailer. And in the trailer, there's a bikini-clad Latina, I guess, stripper. She's like very scantily clad and, you know, shaped. She's curvy as hell. She obviously, again, computer generated, so I don't actually want to bang this.
You know,
fake
it's supposed
person,
to be hot, though.
but
you know,
she's made to look hot, and she's in a bikini, very sexualized. And these dudes that we were talking about rip that apart because they're like, who wants to fuck a fat Puerto Rican? That's what they said. A fat Puerto Rican. Yeah, right. Yes, but also
leche.
she's objectively not at all fat. Like, it's not 1999 anymore. It's not like heroin. Although I guess heroin chic is coming back in. I don't know. Fucking Ariana Grande and
but I
Cynthia
thought
Erivo
Sydney
look
Sweeney
like
just saved us from woe.
Away.
Yeah,
I know.
dude.
I don't. But I don't know what the fuck is going on out in these streets. But I'm just saying, she is a very feminine, sexualized video game character. Even that, they're like, look at this fat, ugly bitch. Like, they just do that.
They just don't hit.
They just don't hit. Exactly. Yes. It's absurd.
Well, there you have it.
All right. Well, come see me on the road this weekend. I got 2 straight weekends coming up in Washington State. I believe Tacoma's this weekend and Spokane's next weekend. So Caleb Simon is going to be with me both of those. He's a very funny guy. So come see us. Go to TreyCrowder.com. We got a bunch of other dates after that, including Santa Barbara at the end of this month. So make a hit.
I'm going to be in Nashville the 22nd. That's a Thursday at 10 p.m. auditioning for Netflix's A Joke Fest. They didn't tell me not to announce it. So I'm saying, hey, if you're in Nashville and you're free Thursday and you want to come by, dude, it'd be rad if 10 or 15 of you came and made that audience a little bit skewed towards your boy. I canceled my Atlanta shows because of that. I do have one in Marietta the next night, but anyway, whatever. Corey.
I'm not on tour right now, but you can go to welovecorey.com and see all of the entertainment I'm putting out. I'm currently in the middle of working on part 2 of the Forster cut of the 1922 edition of Nosferatu, where I overdub silent films. It's gangbuster reviews. WeLoveCorey.com. Listen to all our other podcasts, Gravy Baby, Weekly Skews, and putting on airs, of course, And also, thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew. Fart.
Hold on.
Rednecks, but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. We collected from our love of Downton Abbey. We collected, we found out we're both so fancy. Hey, what's the difference between rednecks and royal families? Only money, cause they both have sex with family. Ew. Putting on airs. What other rednecks to talk about foreign affairs? Laughing so hard that we end up falling out our chairs. Sir Trey, Sir Corey, oh what a pair. High class topics with a redneck flair, oh yeah. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Okay, it's Team Squirrel or Team Trey. Oh yeah, we keeping it basic. He thinks that the squirrels at Corey's mom's house are racist. And you know squirrels live in the same place for generations. So Trey, you better count your days and you better count your blessings. Cause all the squirrels that you ran over, that you think are nameless, faceless, their families are getting together and plotting on you from the attic and basement. So even though Corey is dumb, fat, and bald, he knows how to avoid drama, don't get squirrels involved. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs. Two rednecks but we're still fancy, putting on airs. We might not know much about history, we don't care. We gon' get drunk and we talk about yachts. We gon' get drunk and we gon' talk a lot. Dress real fancy, sit in our chairs, sip on our tea, putting on airs.